Hello, 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 hello. My name is Phyllis Y. Whitley. If you have been spiritually victimized and traumatized, welcome to Spiritology Live, where I bring my #1 Amazon best-selling book to life. Yes, each episode will be a raw spiritual, metaphysical, holistic space of consciousness for self-healing as you learn how to break your religious shackles so you can master and manifest your promised land within. Let's go. Hi, everybody. Let's go right into it. I have done some podcasts before that help you. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Miss P, and I am here to show you your promised land and then teach you how to live in your promised land through not only my podcast, but also my company is called Self Whisper. That's where you get all your mentorship and coaching and counseling. And then I have a nonprofit organization called Whispervise Team. That's where you get your soul food, which is I purify you within. That's the prayer. That's when you play a major part in prayer, and that's when you link up to your higher source, which is God. From that perspective, we had study going into seasons, knowing your seasons, and I'm not talking about the 4 seasons, so you can start manifest. We discussed some things dealing with being in a hallway of life, being stuck between 2 doors, your past and your future. And now what we're going to do, the last part 1 of this podcast was, guess what? Spiritual constipation. I know I said some parts, I said spiritually constipated or whatever, but we talked about the last episode, and I do believe that last episode was episode 59. You might want to go back and you might want to look at that because we talked about spiritual constipation for your relationships. And to recap that, we talked about how in the book of Esther, we used that as a demonstration on bringing you to a higher queen conscious. So you don't go swing from one man to another without unconstipating yourself, if that makes sense. Those of you who know me and those of you who have been under me as my mentees, you do know that once everything you do on the inside reflects what you're going to see and live in the outside. You can't go on the outside and undo it. You have to go on the inside. And this is where I come in. Because we did discuss that bringing you up to a higher queen conscious. And if you need more instructions, you know where to go. You can find me at selfwhisper.com. Constipation. You know physical constipation? I have to recap it. I know you don't want to hear it. When you constipated, you have a problem passing your stool. What do that mean, Miss P, in the spiritual constipation world? It means that you're ashamed. You have unforgiveness toward yourself. Now remember, we on self-image constipation. So your shame is taught with yourself. Depending upon how your world was when you was growing up, you might have been in situations where you was under parents that was abusive or parents that was literally has alcohol abuse. You was in school, you was shamed, you was wearing the same clothes, you was wearing raggedy clothes, you was being punched up, beat up by your brother and sister. You might have unfortunately, been sexually abused. Whatever it is, you grow up and you go to a psychiatrist's chair and sit in that chair for 10, 20, 30 years. And you know what happened? You're paying them all your money for you to be told, come back and just tell me your story. Now, the disclaimer is, I don't cure anybody. This is not medical advice. This is spiritual advice. You sit there and you pay, probably even the stars, millions of dollars, to know nothing, to learn nothing. You understand what I'm trying to say? Sometimes you can get a coach that can help you get through something in 6 weeks and a psychiatrist can't. I'm not knocking psychiatrists because I do have a master in social work, holistic certification. I deal with the body, mind, and soul. I deal with everything spiritual. And I am here to tell you again about constipation. What else did we talk about last week? Physical constipation, lack of dietary fiber, fluid, and exercise. What does that mean in the spiritual world? We are talking about your self-image, self-esteem, whatever you want to call it. That's lack of spiritual food. That's having a lower consciousness. That's having a lack of relationship in a spiritual realm with your supreme Father God. I'm not talking about going to church or watching church 7 days a week. I'm not talking about carrying a big Bible so everybody can see it. I'm not talking about handing flyers. I'm not talking about knocking on your neighbor's door or somebody's strange door and convincing them my religion is the best. I am not here for that. I am here to get you to your promised land and to stay in it. You understand? Drop your religious coat and come walk with me. We are talking about constipation. Constipation with your self-image. Yes. Let's talk about self-image. Your self-image or low self-esteem is, according to, I looked this up on Google, or you can go to the dictionary.com. Low self-esteem, or even your self-image, low self-image, is when you criticize yourself. It's when you downplay or ignore your positive qualities. It's when you judge yourself that you are lower. Remember the Israelites when Moses, the book of Moses, and the Israelites just couldn't make it to the promised land because they went up. God had them go up to the land of milk and honey and really just give their survey. When they came back, they was like, oh my God, they were giants. What am I saying? Your self-esteem can be so low. And this is coming from the relationship. If you didn't hear my last podcast, you can be in a relationship going from tree to tree to tree to tree, man to man to man to man, because you never really release yourself of constipation. And then we talked about Esther. Esther had to go to a purification for a certain amount of months. And I asked you again, back then with that podcast, I said, how long do you take to wait between men? Vice versa. Well, Miss P, you don't get on the men. I already told you my business is probably 95% females and the rest is men. And like I said, if you have sons, teach him to be a king. You be a queen. This is where I come in. I teach you how to be a queen. I teach the mothers, the sisters, the aunts to be a queen so you can go out there and set an example not only for your son, but for your daughter. Your son will not walk around and drag and rag every woman if he know what a queen look like. Amen? I know you got that. And then for the females, that's what I'm here for. Look, your self-esteem is low. You're constipated. You use negative words to describe yourself. You call yourself stupid. You call yourself fat. You call yourself ugly. You call yourself unlovable. But we know that that's coming from the whispers. That's why my business is called self-whisper. That's coming from the whispers that you had growing up. Ugly whispers. Let's look and see what God has to say. Proverbs 23:7. And I must apologize because most of the stuff I do is even from a Hallmark Standard version. This is the New King James Version. Proverbs 23:7 says, for as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And y'all have heard this from all the mystics years ago. They always use this. I think it's a book out. James Allen had one. Or also Murphy, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. All of that goes into what you think. What you think within, that's your heart. People don't know that. They don't see you saying you're ugly. They don't see. You know what they can see though? When the spiritual realm of you start feeling a lowly conscious, you can start seeing it in the way you stand up, the way you talk. No eye contact. And you walk, you see those people that walk with their head down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's going to show. Everything in the spiritual realm is going to come out and manifest on the physical plane. That's the secret. You know, they said feeling is the secret. Oh, yeah. Because if you have low self-esteem, you're feeling lowly. You will walk lowly. Your clothes will demonstrate a lowliness. You don't care what you wear. You don't care if you don't brush your teeth. You don't care if your breath stink. You don't care if your hygiene is not right. I know I'm in your bathroom again because we are talking about spiritual constipation. It hurts, but I go in. What they always said, prophets go in with a knife. I said it in my prophetic boot camp. You saying you're a prophet, Miss P? We are prophets. Don't you affirm and meditate to yourself every day? When you call yourself ugly every day, you're prophesizing for your future. Then you start meeting the wrong people. Your job don't like you. Your boss don't like you. The man come in your life and he just use you and abuse you. I don't know why. This is where they come and tell me, why? Why do I have to go through this? Why am I treated so bad every time I meet another man? Yeah, I know that you went from one man to another. How do you go and swing, like I said, from tree to tree, and you didn't even purify yourself like Esther, the book of Esther? It's a reason you have to cleanse yourself on a spiritual level. I'm telling you, on a spiritual level. Now, Miss P, are you trying to say, I met my husband right after I had my ex did me wrong, and me and my husband have been together for like 30 years. That's excellent. And you should do a book. I'm not talking about people like you. Sometime your life mate can come in the season, and I talked about that, right after you come out of a relationship. Sometimes I have heard it where the life mate can come while you are almost out of that relationship because you're not supposed to be in a relationship, so you in the hallway of Tony, and then you go ahead and you meet Clarence, and Clarence come in and he can help you come out of that hallway or that season. But the reason why Esther had to be purified and purification is because she had to learn how to bring her conscious level up before she went in the presence of the king. So females, that's why when I get through with my mentees, they know who they are. When you know who you are, you know your value, and you know how to get all the stuff from your source, the soul food. You know what happens? Not any man can come into your environment. They can't come to your throne. No. You can say, no. No, you don't treat, okay. And a lot of times you don't have nothing to say because a true queen can sit back and listen to an imposter. And within that hour or maybe 30 minutes or maybe 15 seconds, we don't know, she can say, oh, this is not, you're an imposter. And she'll say, no, I release you because you constipated. Females, next time you meet somebody, you constipated. He's too constipated for me. Amen. It's how you think and see yourself. The children of Israelites literally seen the people in that other land as giants, and they was like ants to them. How do you see yourself? If you don't see yourself the way God see you, then you are going to manifest how you see yourself morning, noon, and night. What do you mean, Miss P? Just look at your life. Look at your apartment. Look at your house. Is it run down? Is it a house that you bought and you have time to fix it? Look at your finances. And we're going to get to that next time. Is it run up? Is it a cup with money just running through it? Look around you. Are you a hoarder? Those are signs. You might be hoarding everything. You hoarding food. Food is coming out your cabinet. You hoarding clothes that size 6 when you were size 60. Okay. I'm not giving those clothes away because I know, Miss P, leave me alone because I'm going to fit in that size 6. I'm going to fit it, honey. Yes, I am. And I'm going to leave it just in case I ain't got to buy no more clothes. Well, you know what? You might, because those clothes came from the 60s. Even though the styles come in, you might want to give them away because if you, for some miracle, come down to whatever, go buy you some new clothes for that size. But please stop being constipated. Now let's look at the blocked bowels. We looked at that before. You know the physical constipation. There's symptoms that come along with it. And this is literally your way of life. These are symptoms that will cause you to have to go to the emergency ward, or it might have you go to your doctor. And that can come with medication. I am here to not claim cure for any medical issues, but I'm here to claim cure for your spiritual issues. Now, you might have pain in your belly when you constipated. Your abdomen you feel cramping. Oh my God, you feel like you're going to throw up. You feel like you're swelling. You feel like your stomach start making all kind of noise because you have some gut issues, and then you be passing gas and whatever. And you know what? You're constipated. Hey, what about the spiritual part, the spiritual systems? Listen, this is a self-image or self-esteem symptoms. You have severe lack of confidence. I need to clear my throat for that, because some of you say, ouch. Severe negative talk in your head. I told you before, it's a headache. Eventually, you will start having those headaches because you can't even think right. He didn't, we talked about how the man didn't want you, but how about you? You don't love yourself, but you want somebody to come and love you? He can't love you correct because you don't even know how to love yourself. And then if he don't love you correct, then you will say, no, you got to get away from my throne because I'm a queen. You have the feeling of fullness of self-blame. I didn't do that right. This is why you have those you're a people pleaser. You don't say no to nobody. When you start making money, your family asks you for some money, here. Your friends ask you for some money, here. I'm about helping people, but you got to get your platform first. Okay? Spiritually constipated. You have the fullness of self-blame. I didn't do this wrong. I didn't do that. And that can come back from where? Let's go to the root of it. Parents constantly telling you're no good. You will never be an A student. Let's digest that for a minute. You have loud signs in the spiritual self-image symptoms. The loud sound is loud criticism within your mind. Self-talk again. I'll never be nobody. I'm nobody. Nobody likes me. I have no friends. If I get online, for dating, they don't want me. Who told you that? Let me explain something to you. It's a person for everybody out here. If you feel you a nerd and you not a model type, it's a man out there, a king out there looking for you. Because that king might be a nerd too. He might be somebody who's going to be a lawyer or doctor. And he said, I don't want competition. He may say, I want somebody who literally will build a university in my house and teach my kids. That's the hardest job, to teach the next generation, your kids, to go out there and serve and be blessed. That's a hard job. So I'm top heavy. And Miss P, I just don't think I have it that way. I'm not built like J-Lo. I'm not built like, oh my God, Rihanna or Nicki Minaj. But don't worry about that. Because that particular king may say, oh, I got, everybody in my family was a double D and I grew around, I'm being raw here. And there's men out there that say, no, I don't do B cups, A cups, double D's for me. It's like Burger King, have it your way. You might be walking around, I got very skinny, long legs. I walk like an ostrich. And who's out there for me? Oh, honey, models with the long legs. It's men that have foot fetish? You put on some heels and they look up and that's all they see. They look at you like you're an ostrich. Oh my God, excuse me, y'all. Let me go. Yes. I remember some star said that he was doing something with cars and a woman walked by and all you can see is her legs. And he said, I'm going to marry her. You understand what I'm saying? You may have real short hair. Ain't nobody want me with short hair. They want these women that wear these long weaves or they happen to be born with long hair. No. Not everybody can wear short hair. You may have the beautifulest face. He might not want all of that. He might not want to go and put his hands in your head and he feel all the weed sold in. He might not like that. He might not like glued in. I ain't got nothing against you. If you got to wear weave, wear it, but wear it well. Don't wear it where it's tacked up onto your head and then you see your natural hair don't match the weave. You can do it where I've been there. I mean, I put on a wig, a ponytail back in the days. Remember everybody had that ponytail? I forgot who they was copying, that singer, Sade. But remember the ones who just didn't have the match? We all have different textures of hair, and there's no such thing as bad texture. I know you was taught that, and it came down to your generation. It is no such thing. It's different textures, like it's different skin tones. So basically, it's people out there. The reason why I mention that because people out there say, I mean, nobody want me because I'm too dark. Really? That'll be in my next book. I won't even tell you that. Really? Are you too dark or you just don't need the goddamn sun? Embrace the fact that you got a permanent suntan. Different shades. I'm too pale. I'm a redhead with freckles. Really? Then you are very unique. And you should stand tall and high and say, hey, you ain't gonna find nobody like that. There's men out there will go crazy. My hair's too straight. My eyes are not right. This is wrong because why? Who are you comparing yourself to? Because if you comparing yourself to Hollywood, Hollywood is just an illusion. I hope I really gave you something there. So you understand? You have the feeling that also we're talking about spiritual constipation with your self-esteem and self-image. And you have the feeling that other people are better than you. This is where you become defensive. Yeah. This is where you get stuck in the hallway because you just don't want to go to the next door because somebody told you and lied to you and told you that you would never be nobody. You would never accomplish anything. So you sit in your own worldly hallway and you just sit there and you just like, and you start blaming everybody. And those people are dead. Some of them have expired. You sitting up there and say, my great-grandmother told me. So, hello? Move on. So you're spiritually constipated, unable to move. Let's look at some of the signs. Miss P, I don't know if that's me. Listen, the signs. You say negative things about yourself all the time. And I'm not, it's times that I am, oh my God, I go overboard. And I'm almost a perfectionist and I just get so negative with myself. You will go through that. But I'm here to show you how to move on from that because you still got to move on. So you have moments when you say something, but that's where you have to learn how to do meditation and affirmation and prayer. And that's soul food daily to get you out that rut. Because what happens is you go into a depressed mode and in the medical community got something for that. That's why so many kids are on it. Sometimes the best medication is meditation. The best thing you can do for your kids, and that's your own business. If you're a single woman and you have kids, I don't care if you got 8, 12, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the best thing you can give them, if you start giving them words of wisdom, words of encouragement that can up their self-esteem. And when you up their self-esteem, you would avoid some of those, let's just say, some of those things that is not really for you. You joke about yourself. I mean, I do joke about myself, but you have to know the difference where you joke about yourself and you are serious. You have to know your focus is always on the negative and you ignore your achievement. I would love my dream. How many people you met or people in your family? I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to do hair. How many of y'all know somebody on your block that know, oh my God, that still know, or those who might have expired, knew how to do hair and somebody talked them out of going to school. And they talked themselves out of going to school. How many of y'all know that? How many of y'all know that y'all had cooks in your family that made chicken 10 times better than Colonel Sanders and hamburger better than Wendy's? And you know what? They taught themselves out of it. How many times you told your mother, girl, that you know you can cook? And they didn't even want to go, I don't want to be showing my face. You don't have to show your face. Hello? They missed their season because they talked themselves out. And usually it's somebody's in their ear that's very negative and then they talk themselves out. And then if you keep talking yourself out, number one, if you got people constantly in your ear, it's time for you to change friends and family. Now, what we're talking about is spiritual constipation with yourself. Finally, you just feel like you don't deserve no good thing. And this is why you keep attracting Jack the Ripper. Oh, he do this, he do that. He verbally abused me and he do. What do you think is going to be next after verbal? But I love me some Jack. Leave me alone, Miss P. I love Jack. Listen, he give me something I can feel. Remember that? Stephanie Mills? Did she say that? No, I think she was giving him something he can feel. But y'all come to me, Miss P, he give me something I feel. I mean, it's all right. It's all right. What's going on with you? It's all right if he didn't mean to verbally call me a B. He didn't mean to knock me upside my head. And I'm not making fun of those who are abused because it's a hotline out there for you. And this is not the line. You need to go to the professionals who specialize in bringing you out of that condition. Let's look at another one, another scripture. See what God have to say. Proverbs 15:30 says, the light of the eye rejoice the heart. The light of the eyes rejoice the heart, and a good report makes the bone healthy. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's talking about within yourself. The Israelites had a bad report. And I do believe Joshua had a good report. Don't quote me on that. I don't have my Bible open over here. But what I'm trying to tell you, the good report are the ones that made it over to the promised land. You have to have a good report with yourself before you can get in the promised land. See, I help you cultivate. I help you expand. I help you bring a conscious level up higher. I help you know who you are, who your self-worth is. And you know why I do that? So you can have a conscious level called Queen Conscious. How do you move on? You have to go get some soul food. Miss P got a lot of soul food on Self Whisper. I will teach you, coach you, mentor you. You need to have purging sessions, meditation sessions, prophetic prayer. Yes, because you have to release yourself from the constipation. Remember, it's always something you have to do. And I'm going to end this on my manuscript, my Supreme Father manuscript, Philippians 4:8. It says, meditate on these things. What did it say? I said, meditate on these things. Hello, could you say it again? Meditate on these things. Finally, brothers, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of a good report, if there be any virtue and there be anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things. See, y'all didn't even know meditation was in the Bible. You just didn't even know. You thought meditation was all about the spiritual psychic world. Meditation is in the Bible. Meditation morning, noon, and night on the good news, which is the gospel, is all in my book. I hope you learned something today. Yes, yes, yes. You learned about constipation is necessary because you got to move on. You got to move on for those relationships. You got to move on for blaming yourself. And guess what? When you start moving on, then you can start reaping the harvest. Reaping the harvest happens to come into the form of prosperity. And that form can be finances. Well, Miss P, I really don't believe that the spiritual realm religion and money should go together. You sound like a pulpit pimp. I never said religion. I'm talking about spiritual. I'm talking about the laws of attraction. Do you put on your vision board? Do you put down you want to be in poverty? You want to have shoes with holes in it? Do you put down there you want to be uneducated and ignorant the rest of your life? The purpose of your vision board is for the things that your heart desire, and that is the promised land. God said, I give you a land of milk and honey. He didn't say I'm going to give you a land of Venus starches. I don't even know let me see. And I hate to say this, Venus sausages and oodles and noodles. And that's only because there's nothing wrong with oodles and noodles. Let me tell you, they're supposed to be the best. I'm not into it. But remember college days, college dorm days, military days. You get what I'm saying? He said milk and honey. He was telling you running over, running over, running over, running over. And one of the things I didn't say, you have to not only have soul food, you have to know how to take your 10% of anything and everything and give it back and put it back in the ground. And that ground, you're giving it back to your Father, and then it comes back to you. That is a whole nother topic on should I or what is tithes. 10%. Rockefeller did tithes. We're not going to go there. But you know what we're going to talk about? We will cover those tithes in spiritual constipation with finances. Oh, we will. We will. Thank you for coming to my space. You know what to do. You need to bless somebody with this book. You need to bless them with this podcast, and you should surely be blessed. Y'all say, I don't know what to give. I want to give to somebody. This is the first thing you do. You give people knowledge and wisdom, because my people shall perish with lack of knowledge. Give it to your kids. Not this book, but you want to give them wisdom. But you can't give your or anyone wisdom if you don't have none. So go find some people that you can say you need to get this book so you can let go of the chains of spiritual wickedness, religion, all of that stuff, and walk in your promised land. Yes, yes. Hooray, hooray, hooray. What is new? I am now doing Spiritology live on all kind of platforms by the time this come out. And oh my goodness, I am going to have a ball with my Whisper Vibes teams that have been developed, that have been mentored, and you're going to have not only the best prophetic prayer warriors. Wow, you're going to get some more teaching. You're going to get so much of me, and all I can say is goodbye.